How we doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just putting away this little thermal imager. So the first job that we've got today is a little battery drain, which is on a Ford KA. It's a 2013 year. So we've put the multimeter in series on the battery, and we're getting around about a 230 milliamp draw, which is too high obviously. It's still sitting around about 230. So we did try giving the car a little scan with a thermal imager, however I've just realised that she's had the car out on a run to recharge the battery, so there's obviously going to be components on the car that's still going to be thermally warm, so the thermal imager in this case isn't going to help us. So we're just going to run through the usual tests that we do on battery drains. We'll go across the fuses obviously, and just see where that leads us. Where we're sitting at now, so yeah, we're still around about 230-220 milliamps of a draw. So you can see I've got the old Mac meter out. This is one of my first multimeters that I bought when I was an apprentice. So I don't know if this will still be about, but that's EM600. The casing, I've took the casing off because the rubberised bit was kind of worn. But this multimeter's still going strong. I'll use this for the millivolt test, or the volt drop test across the fuses. You can see I'm a bit, trying to get this covers off is a bit of a nightmare. Someone's put a bit of silicone down the bottom of there, so we've just decided to lift it open so far. But we've already checked all those fuses and they seem okay. So we're going to see if there's any fuses inside the actual cabin side, and see, we'll take it for there. Yep, don't worry guys, we've fixed that cover. We didn't realise that portion came off separately from the actual fuse cover itself. So we ended up switching meters, guys, because that little Mac one wasn't giving us much confidence, to be honest. But if we go across this 10 amp fuse, you'll maybe see here, difficult to get these probes along it, but you can see on the meter there we're sitting at around about 1.4, and we've still got our drain. Now that 10 amp fuse down there, that is for your radio and your brake lights according to the diagram. So we've just pulled out the radio and we're going to try and get the plug unplugged from the back. Now it is very tight for there, which is a bit annoying. There's not really much room, but we'll get this unplugged and see if our drain disappears, because this is looking like a faulty radio. So guys, we didn't end up disconnecting the radio. What we've done was we went onto HGS data to get a true diagram on the fuses, because we've had issues with the Fiat 500s with the Bluetooth control module on these, and I just wanted to make sure that we're definitely, the fuse diagram that we had was 100%. So it turns out we've disconnected the Bluetooth control module and the drain's away. So we've had that in a couple of Fiat 500s. Very common issue, so the customer has decided just to leave it unplugged. Obviously she will get the flashing mileage, I think, if I remember rightly, but it is what it is. So we'll go and see what our drain is now that that's disconnected. So you can see here guys, we have got a reading of 0 and it's fluctuating between 10 milliamps, which is perfect. So you can see we've still got our meter connected in there, just so you can actually see that. But that is our drain away. We'll give the option of sending away the module, but the chances of that happening are very slim. So we're going to get all our tools packed away, get the customer wrote up an invoice, and we'll move on to the next one. So we'll see you there. We are back at the Peugeot 5008, and we've got a battery BGPA unit, and we're just fitting it. So we're just going to get this all buttoned up, and we'll show you that, well, hopefully we'll not have any further fault codes, but the BGPA unit has obviously got a lot of cables in that you need to take off, so I'll just show you a quick glimpse of what we're doing. So you can see we've already started removing it. There's just a couple of bolts down there, and we've got all these cables, and we've got a couple of cables at the back, so we need to take out these three. So we'll get these out. These are just Torx T25s or so. We'll get these out, get all the cables swapped over, and that is our new genuine unit that we're going to get fitted. Now obviously the battery's been disconnected, something you want to do before touching any of this, just because obviously you've got big live cables going into there and you don't want to short anything out, so we're just going to get a little screwdriver hopefully. In fact, we might not even need that. You can see there's a wee bit at the bottom where it fastens into as well, so we'll get that off, hopefully without dropping it. And that now should come apart. Yep, so that's the backing plate off, as you can see there, and that will reveal the two cables, or the three cables that's going into the back. So what we've done is we've took out all the ones at the back of the BGPA unit, and we've got them into the new one. Now before doing any of this, I would just advise taking a picture of where each of these cables go and what fuse they go into, just to prevent any sort of confusion. But we're going to get these, because I've just ran these in with the battery ratchet there, so we're just going to give these an extra wee nip up with the quarter ratchet, just make sure they're okay, and then we'll head to the fronts. And you can see that's our old unit completely out of the vehicle. I'm just going to go round all these nuts with the battery ratchet, give them an extra nip up with the quarter drive socket, make sure all the nuts are tight. We'll get the cover back on, get the main lead, or the main positive lead, back onto the actual unit itself, get it secured down, and then that'll be us. We'll go in the cab and see if there's any warning lights still present. Alright, so we've got everything back in. Just obviously remember to put on the main lead before putting the cover on, because I did. And the backing plate, the metal backing plate that goes onto it, put that on last, because you won't get the plastic cover on the front on, because there's a bolt that needs to go on as well. So aye, but everything is back on apart from the battery lead. But what we need to do next is just stick the battery lead back on, check and see if we've got any fault codes still present. Hopefully not. So I don't know if you heard there, you heard a big sort of click. It was likely that unit that's now working. So go into the car, turn that off, and straight away the fault codes, or our warning lights are away. But what we'll do anyway is we'll get the diagnostic tool plugged in, just to make sure there isn't anything. Well, there will be a stored fault code, but we'll just do a full system health scan, and then we'll get it cleared. So we've went ahead and done a full system health scan, and you can see the only ones that we've got left is just supply voltages. That's just down to the fact that we had the battery and that off. BPG, you've got no DTCs, and the engine management side you've got no DTCs. So we're going to clear the rest of them individually, and then start it up, show you that there's no warning lights on the dash, and then we'll call that a job done. Right, so we've went through each of these modules and just cleared the full system. Only fault code we've got left is a GSM module internal fault, which isn't related to any of this. I'm just going to start the car up and I'll show you that everything is okay. So we've got no warning lights. Straight away we would get electrical circuit failure on the left hand side, just where the engine speed is, and that is now gone. As far as the ones that we were interested in, the BPG unit, the engine control unit because of the flywheel sort of issue, but we've only got that fault code there and a GSM module, which we are not here to deal with today, and I think they're passive anyway. Yep, so they're not even active faults, so the customer's not really interested in them. But that is this job done. As always, there'll be a link in the description for the Phoenix X link if you want to go and have a look at it, see what its capabilities are. But anyway, that's us done with this job. We will see you on the next one. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we've got this Range Rover Sport. This one is a 2017 model, so 67 plate. And the customer complaint with this one is the side steps. The automatic steps are very intermittent, and when I mean intermittent, I mean you can open the door, the steps will come out. When you shut the door, the steps will try to go back in, but they'll push back out straight away. So we've had this before, and it's usually down to season of the brackets. Now we've already sorted the left hand side, we're just going to show you what's happening on the right hand side. So what we're going to do is just open the door and close the door, and you can observe what happens with the side step. So it's just worked there, as you see, as you could see. But if we try it again, so the fault can be intermittent. Right, so that is the actual issue, and that's what was happening on the other side. Now what I've ended up doing is that this side is fixed. I'll show you right here. So if we allow it to open, close the door, you can see the side step stows away, no problem. So what we've ended up having to do is these little quarter pins here. We've obviously gave this a wee bit of lubricant with lubricant spray. I'll show you what one we use. So we use the Quantum lubricant spray. So we've gave that a spray on the opposite side, and what we've ended up doing is just giving the quarter pins on each bracket a tap with a hammer, and that has seemed to have done the job on this one as well. Now obviously you can get motor issues with these, but there is literally no electrical faults stored in the module itself. So if we go out here, we'll just turn the ignition on. So if we go to, in fact we'll just do a full system scan and we'll come back to you to show you that there isn't any fault codes for an electrical issue. So if we look here on the fault codes that are present, we've got a cylinder free glow plug, which you can see there. That's not really what we're here for today. Got a missing calibration on the BCM, and we've got a LED component internal failure. So we've got nothing else relating to the motors of the side step. Now if we go into the scan tool itself, so if we go to, I'll need to find it in here. So if we keep going down, we'll go into TBM. In fact no, we won't. We'll go into special function, maintenance, chassis, TBM, and you can see we've got a couple of different options there for actuation tests. So stow right deployable side step, stow left deployable side step. So just in case you're wondering, this tool can actuate both steps in and out as long as they're working. It will come up with a fault. You need to have the ignition on, the door shut obviously. So what we're going to do is just show you what we've done. So this side, it might go in, it might not go in, but 9 times out of 10 it won't work. So you can see there that is our issue. We are going to give those little quarter pins on each bracket a little bit of lubricant and give it a smash with a hammer, and we'll show you that the fault will be fixed. So first of all, we're just going to give the area a little spray. we'll do the side at the top when we've got a minute. So that's them lubricated up, and we're just going to give those 2 pins a smash with a hammer. Now we're going to try and hold the camera as best as we can. Just give it another little spray. And that's more or less all it takes. Now, we will advise a customer that if he gives us further authority, depending on how long this lasts, sometimes you need to remove the pins and completely clean out the brackets itself. So we'll give the customer that option, but he's just really wanting them to get stowed away and working. So, like he says, we will give the customer the option of doing that, but this is literally just, we've came here to diagnose the issue, so we've not got any further approval for doing anything else just yet. Okay, so we've gave both steps a little treatment of lubricant and moved those little quarter pins that slide through the brackets. Now, like I says, if we do get further approval to remove those 2 pins and do a proper clean up, then we'll show that as well, but the chances of that happening, if they're going to be working after this, is pretty slim, but the customer's got that option anyway. So now let's try and see what happens. So we'll open up the door, we'll close it. You can see it goes in first time there. Now remember, this side was intermittent, so we'll try it a few times. You can see it came out there. We'll shut the door. Perfect. Try it again. And we'll close the door. And we'll try it one more time. And shut the door. So it's going in every time now. Before, when we'd done that, we could open the door, close it, it would go in, open the door again, it would come back out, shut the door, and it would get stuck. So we know that this is a fix for this vehicle, and ideally we will need to take those pins out and give them a proper clean, but we'll let that choice be made by the customer. And like I said, if he does want that done, we can do that, no problem. So we'll just try this side again. You can see they're coming out, absolutely no bother. Shut it over. Going in every time. So that is a fix for now, and we will move on to the next job. So this video as well, not this one particular, but the videos at the very start have been a bit choppy changey just because I had an SD card fault, so apologies for that. But anyway, we'll see you at the next job that we're going to.